So, today I am going to talk to you about my favourites from March and April. So at the beginning of the year I did say that I was going to do a favourites video every month. At the end of March, beginning of April, there were lots of stuff going on, lots of other content that I was creating for various reasons, so I didn't end up doing a March favourites video. But I am going to do a double March and April favourites video. I am actually thinking that I might do that anyway. I might change it slightly and do one every couple of months, just because some months, particularly, with everything being what it is in the world, some months you just don't do as much. So that's what I'm going to do today. So this is a favourites from other things apart from books. So at the beginning, at the end of every month, I do obviously my wrap up and I talk to you about all the books I've read, and then I do tell you what my favourite books were as well. So I'm not going to talk about books at all in this particular video. I don't think I'll talk about books at all in any of the videos going forward, because it is supposed to be about other aspects of entertainment and things in my life, because as much as I do love books and reading, obviously it is not actually the entirety of my life. So yeah, I will talk about some other stuff today instead. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is all the way back in March, and that is something that I did for my birthday. For my birthday, myself and some friends went to a art activity day thing, and what the idea is that you basically have a day where you kind of learn some techniques, but mostly where you just sit down and do a painting. And this particular one, and it's like a social thing, so you come along with your friends, you can bring food and drink and whatnot and hang out and have a really great time. I thought this sounded like a really fun thing to do for my birthday, so that is what we did. This particular day was a paint your pet day, so everybody sent in photographs of their pets and painted their pets. As you guys know, we have 3 cats. I did struggle to decide which of the cats I should paint, but Rowan helped me decide basically by just saying, well, you want to paint Shade. The reason for that is not that I don't love my other 2 fur babies, but when Rowan and I got together, his cats were Peanut and Pistachio and my cat was Shade. So Shade has been with me since she was a tiny little weenie kitten, and yeah, so of course I wanted to paint Shade. So my first favourite is my painting. I don't know how well you can see that. That I did of my kitty. So this is a painting of Shade. I will put it down now because it's kind of big. But yes, so I did that painting of Shade, which I'm pretty proud of. It does look pretty much like Shade. Purple is, of course, my favourite colour, so hence we have the purple background, and blue, my other favourite colour. But anyway, so that was a really fun day. This isn't totally freehand. The guy that runs it does draw, so you send him a picture of your pet and he draws the pet on to the canvas and then you paint it. So that's not entirely freehand. I'm not that good of a painter. But yeah, it was a really, really fun day and I'm really proud of this painting. We haven't actually figured out where to hang her yet, but we will. We'll get there. At some point we will decide. So that's my first favourite from March. But now I want to let you know some TV shows and some movies that I've really enjoyed. I also thought that I would add, I was talking about new booktubers that I had found or different videos that I liked, but I've actually decided that I'm going to do something quite similar to what Victoria from What Victoria Read used to do last year, I think it was. She had a monthly video where she would pull out I think 4 booktubers' names from a little jug, and then she would talk about that. So I'm going to do something similar because I have a whole bunch of different booktubers that I really enjoy watching and a bunch of different people who I communicate with quite frequently. So I'm just going to do a similar randomized sort of thing. So for March, the TV shows that I really enjoyed were, we watched 2 TV shows that we hadn't seen before. One was Sports Night. So this is a TV show that was created by Aaron Sorkin, who's most well known for The West Wing. This was pre The West Wing. It is a show about a sports news program, and the production of that. So it's about what happens behind the scenes, it's about the actual production. As you would expect, since it's Aaron Sorkin, it's very witty, lots of banter, fast-paced. He does do that walk and talk thing that he was most known for from the West Wing, that they do also in the Gilmore Girls, so that, you know, constant chatting, very fast talking. But yeah, it's really, really well done, really fun show. It's nothing much particularly exciting in terms of content of the show. It's just a really fun, well put together show that Rowan and I enjoyed in March. And the other TV show that I watched in March was The Queen's Gambit. So this is a Netflix show. I believe that it's based on a book, although I haven't actually read the book. It is about a young woman who is orphaned. One of her places where she ends up living in an orphanage, she learns to play chess, and then she becomes a champion chess player. But there's a lot of other stuff going on to do with her life and various addictions and all sorts of things like that. But it's really, really well done. I really appreciated the main actress, whose name I have totally blanked on. Let me just look that up. Anya Taylor-Joy. So yeah, she does a really, really fantastic job in that role, and I really enjoyed that. And then for movies, I went and saw Penguin Bloom. So this is based on a true story, and it is about a family who the mum is a surfer, and she has an accident in her spine, and so she can't move her legs. She's having a hard time, but then one of the boys finds a injured magpie and decides to bring it home and look after it, and he calls it Penguin. So Penguin Bloom, their surname is Bloom, so that's the magpie. But yeah, it's just a really nice story about a family and a woman coming to terms with what's happened to her and figuring out how to live as a result. So yeah, it was really interesting. It was really well done. I really enjoyed it. So that's March. April, I don't have anything quite as exciting as a cat picture to talk about from April. April was kind of just, you know, fairly standard. I didn't buy anything particularly noteworthy or do anything exciting painting wise or anything like that. I did, of course, do lots of reading and various other things. I did read and then watched Shadow and Bone, which the internet is going crazy about, so I would be very surprised if at this point people didn't know what Shadow and Bone was or hadn't seen it or at least heard of it or read the books or what have you. So I read the first book in that trilogy by Leigh Bardugo early in April, as I've spoken about in my mid-April wrap-up, which I will link in the description below. And then I did watch the TV series. I have to be honest with you, this is probably one of the very few times where I will ever say that I liked the TV show more than I liked the book. Now, there is a caveat. This is not to say that I didn't enjoy the book. I did enjoy the book. If you don't want to hear about Shadow and Bone, then I will hold this pen up like this, and when I put the pen down, it means I've stopped talking about Shadow and Bone. Shadow and Bone, what they have done is they have made a TV show based on the first book in that trilogy, Shadow and Bone, but they have included characters from the Six of Crows duology. I really, really liked those characters, and I really liked their storyline, even though that storyline, I think they've inserted some of the characters, but they have changed, they've given them their own storyline that fits in with what happens in Shadow and Bone. Those characters were my favourite characters in the show, so yeah, I thought they were the most interesting, and definitely I would say that I sort of expected this anyway, but I potentially think that I will like Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom more than I like Shadow and Bone, the books. So that is the caveat. It's not that I necessarily think that the storyline that follows the storyline of Shadow and Bone is better than the Shadow and Bone book, but the storyline and characters from Six of Crows I found more interesting. So that's that. Hello again. We have had a quick location change because Rowan was just going into a meeting and we're doing a bunch of stuff in the house. Basically, he is now currently working in the same space as the lounge room and the kitchen, and I spend a lot of my time when I'm doing things like reading and filming. Normally not a problem, but when he goes into a meeting, then obviously I need to find somewhere else to film because he's working and I'm just faffing around on the internet. So anyway, so we've come outside. It's a reasonably nice day. It's a little bit chilly, but it's autumn for us here in Australia, so that's to be expected. Yeah, it's a reasonably nice day, so I thought, why not come outside and do the rest of this video. So what was I talking about? Yes, so the TV shows that I watched in April, I watched Shadow and Bone, and the other TV show that I've been watching, and I'm still watching now in May, is a rewatch for me of Elementary. So this is the TV show that is sort of a reimagining of the Sherlock Holmes TV show, Sherlock Holmes stories. So instead of it taking place in Victorian London, it takes place in modern day New York, and Joan Watson is actually a woman, or John Watson is actually a woman, Joan Watson, and her character is played by Lucy Liu. So I really like a lot of different adaptations of the Sherlock Holmes stories. I love Sherlock, which is the BBC version of a similar thing, but I really like this partly because of the gender bending, partly because I love Johnny Lee Miller and Lucy Liu, who play the two main characters, and partly just because it's really well done and super fun and interesting. We've been watching this probably on and off for the last couple of months, so it still counts for both, Parks and Recreation. For those of you that don't know, Parks and Recreation is a sort of irreverent TV show in the same vein as The Office, and it uses that same kind of format where the camera work is as though it were vlogging camera work, so as though it were sort of real life, real life interviews and the day in the life of these office workers or these Parks and Rec public service. So that's really good. The first season, I will say, is probably not as good. It took me a little while to get into it, but now that I'm into it, I'm really, really enjoying it. And Cameron, if you're watching this, yes, that happens every single time you recommend things to me, and I kind of go, yeah, it takes me a little while, but I get into them eventually, so I should believe you. But anyway, that's a tiny little aside there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my booktube shout out. So I think I will do 4 booktubers each couple of months. So what I've actually done is I have listed a whole bunch of booktubers that I love. There's 67 in my list. I'm adding to these all the time, so if your name doesn't come up this time or for a while, please know that it's very likely that it's there, and if not, then who knows, I may add to it. So there's people whose videos I love, booktube, whose personality that I really like. There might be a number of different reasons. I'll talk you through as they come up. Not all of the people are people who are aware of me or who are, we're mutually subscribe to each other or chat to each other or anything like that. It's a mixture of smaller booktubers and bigger booktubers, just people whose content I really enjoy. So I've got a list on my phone. I've numbered them 1 to 67. I'm going to use a random number generator, and that will tell me who to talk about. So number generator. So my max is 67. Obviously my minimum is 1. First person we got is number 51. So first number we got is number 51, and that is Darian Reeds. So I will put an image of Darian somewhere on the screen. Obviously all of these people's channel details, links and everything are in the description below. You should absolutely go and check them out. They are favourites of mine. If they are here, it means that I love them and I watch them frequently. I have to admit that I don't necessarily watch every single video that every single booktuber creates and puts up, but I do watch most of them. So anyway, first person, Darian from Darian Reeds. I really like Darian's videos because I just think that she has a really honest and genuine, pretty much could say the same of all of these people. But she has a really honest and genuine way of talking about what she loves. You can really tell when she loves a book, and you can really feel that love and appreciation for the book in the way that she talks about the books, which is something that I think is just really sweet. I get the impression that Darian is a real sweetheart, a real sort of cinnamon roll herself, and I really feel that when I watch her videos. I do really, really enjoy watching her videos. I think that she has similar taste to myself, so she reads a lot of sort of speculative fiction or magical realism, which I think she and I, the problems with filming outside, which I think that she and I have in common. So that's something that I really like about her. And yeah, I just really enjoy watching her gush over books. It's always really nice. So definitely would recommend that you go and check out Darian. That is the first person. All right, so let's do number generator 2. 48. Still sticking in the same general area. I just ordered people randomly as I thought of them, so... Alright, so number 48, Leanne Rose. So, again, her image will be somewhere here. Please excuse the wind. Again, another thing about filming outside. What can you do? Anyway, and her channel will be in the description below. Leanne Rose is an Irish booktuber, so she is one of the people that runs the Irish Readathon, which I'm pretty sure is March. I've not done the Readathon myself. I do intend to at some point, but you know, there's always a million readathons. Anyway, yeah, I really enjoy Leanne's videos. I think that she is very good at describing what a book is about. She's very informative in that way. She gives you a lot to think about books from... She tells you what she thinks of them, obviously, and why she appreciated them, but she gives you a lot of information to think about in terms of from an analytical point of view. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the way she kind of goes into more detail and breaks down books. She, I believe, works in the publishing industry, so I think she has quite an interesting perspective on books and reading from that point of view. I wouldn't say that she talks about that frequently or kind of uses that as a way to analyse book, but I definitely think that informs some of the content that she creates, which I think is quite interesting. And yeah, she just has a really nice, calm personality that I think does really well on booktube, so I really appreciate her videos. Now another number generator. So it actually changed very much this time, and it's number 4. So who do I have at number 4? Number 4 is Earl Grey Books, Ellie. So the other 2 people, I don't really know if they follow me, but you know, I've said hello every now and then. But Ellie is actually a friend of mine. I think that, you know, we've developed a really quite close friendship at this point. We run, you will see in the description below, we run sprints on both of our channels, so every fortnight on my channel and then every fortnight on her channel. Like I said, details for that, if you want to get involved, are in the description below. But yeah, we run sprints on each other's channels, and we did a thing where we sent each other books. So we did like a booktuber chooses my book haul video, and that was really, really fun. I got some really great books from her that I'm super excited to read, and she said that she was excited to read the books that I sent her. So yeah, Ellie is just a really, really sweet, really lovely person. I really appreciate her way of expressing herself as well, which again I could say about everyone. Similar to Leanne, I would say she's very thoughtful about the way that she expresses her opinions about books. I think that she is very informative in the information that she gives us about the books and what they're about and what she thought of them, and why. She can be quite analytical about why she likes something and why she thinks you might like something. She's very calmly spoken, very softly spoken, which makes you feel nice and calm and safe when you watch her videos. And of course, I couldn't talk about Ellie without talking about Percy, her absolutely adorable cat who is in quite a lot of her videos and makes an appearance in every single live stream that we do. He is a black and white cat and he's just gorgeous. He's just such a sweetheart. So definitely you should tune into Ellie and subscribe to her channel because she is amazing and fantastic. But if for no other reason than you love a cat, you should subscribe for Percy. So yeah, that was Ellie. And the last person that I'm going to talk about today, let's do another number generator. Number 37. Alright, so who is number 37? Amy Myers. Amy is I hope she doesn't find this to be, I hope she doesn't dislike this description of herself, but I feel like Amy is a force of nature. She just has a really big personality, and I feel like she has a lot to bring to the world, a lot to say about things. She has a lot of really in-depth and really informed opinions. You can really tell that Amy has really considered everything that she says. She's really considered books from various angles. She gives you obviously her own perspective, but I feel like she gives you a really in-depth, nuanced view of books that she talks about and gives you lots of different ways of looking at those books and lots of different perspectives by which to look at the books, which I really, really appreciate. It does make me consider books I might not have considered before because of her content, because of the way she describes books. So I really appreciate that about Amy. I believe she does art, she does graphic design, and I'm pretty sure that she has done graphic design for different other creators, like banners and stuff like that for their channels. So I'm pretty sure that she did that for Victoria, from what Victoria read, and that it's beautiful, which is the point that I was getting to. So I believe that you can contact her and potentially speak to her about that sort of thing, but yeah, maybe hiring her to do that. Obviously don't take my word for it, because you should talk to Amy. But yeah, I think that the banner she did for Victoria is just fantastic. I'm not sure whether she watches my channel, but we're Twitter friends now, so yeah, I really like Amy and I hope to talk to her more and get to know her more. The same can be said of all the rest of them. But yeah, so those are the booktubers that I'd like to talk about this time and give some shout outs to. Like I said, I have quite a number of people on this phone that I'm planning on shouting out, so stay tuned for more booktuber content in the months to come. So anyway guys, that's my favourites for March and April. As I've said in this video, I think I'm going to change it so that it's every couple of months. So the next one will be out sometime in July, beginning of July, for the May-June. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments about any of the things that I talked about, if you have any comment about any of the things that I showed you, please do comment below and let me know. That'd be great. Please do go and check out all those booktubers because they are fantastic and they deserve many, many more subscribers and people watching their videos. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video and I will see you next time.